Hello and welcome to Human at the Helm. Today we are excited to welcome Rebecca Gonzalez, the CEO of Orange Marketing. Rebecca leads a HubSpot Diamond Partner agency that specializes in helping B2B companies, particularly in SaaS, tech, and SMB, achieve success with HubSpot across all their sales, marketing, service, and CMS needs. And I'm so excited because I know you just came back from inbound, so I can't wait to hear more about that. Orange Marketing is renowned for its unique combination of strategic thinking and strong operational results, holding all 42 HubSpot certifications and being a WBECN certified woman owned business, which Rebecca is an expert in B2B demand generation, revenue operations, and building robust marketing tech stacks. She's here to share her insights on how agencies and their clients can go from generic to magnetic and finally escape the RFP grind. Rebecca, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Veronica. That was an awesome introduction.
Well, I had a lot of good material, so it was easy. So, Rebecca, can you first just give us a little bit about your background and Orange Marketing in general?
Yeah, the company was started in 2018. It was named because I Googled combinations of colors in the word marketing and then Orange Marketing happened to be a domain available. We knew we were going to specialize in HubSpot. Their color was orange. And we knew we were going to be B2B focused. We had a lot of connections in the tech industry. And it just happened literally as an organic idea and we just went for it. And that's 2018. That's about 8 years ago. It's always been a small consultancy, meaning it's about 12 people. It's always been focused on HubSpot, always been focused on B2B, with a branch this past year into nonprofits, just because it seemed like a good idea.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's been
And
very interesting, actually.
yeah, nonprofit is a very different space.
It's
Um,
very different. It was good for our brains. We can execute B2B pretty easily. Nonprofit is complex and unique challenges, and it feels very good to help them.
yes. Yeah. I always
Yeah.
like the idea of helping people who are doing good do better.
Yes, exactly.
So, Rebecca, many agencies and B2B companies find themselves in a generic marketing trap, struggling to
Mhm.
stand out. So I'm
Mhm.
curious, from your perspective, what are the common reasons this happens? And what's the first step Orange Marketing takes to help your clients break free and start becoming magnetic?
What we focus on is making sure that people speak to their specialties and speak to their focus and speak to their ICP, their ideal customer profile. So we were always very specific about HubSpot. We never said that we implemented Marketo or Salesforce or any of the other CRMs. We're happy to migrate people off of technologies all day long into HubSpot, but we stuck to HubSpot and we became experts. We did our 10,000 hours in that space. So we encourage our customers to really speak to their expertise and speak to exactly who they want to sell to and not try to be everything to everybody.
I love that. And I'm going to probe a little bit more around that because,
Okay. Yeah.
HubSpot is really who started inbound marketing. But I also I love to remind people that branding isn't just about catching more people, it's also about filtering people out. And I think, when you stick a stake in the ground around
Mhm.
something like being a HubSpot partner, you really are making a claim that makes it a little bit easier for everybody to know what to rally around.
Yes.
So now, as a HubSpot Diamond Partner, and again, I want to emphasize this with all 42 certifications,
Hmm.
your agency has deep platform expertise. But what
Hmm.
I'm curious about is how does leveraging a powerful platform like HubSpot, combined with your RevOps expertise, enable B2B companies to build marketing systems that are not just functional, but truly magnetic in their ability to attract clients?
So I'm going to have to pick that question apart. So that's a very good question. HubSpot is more than a CRM. It is really, really an infrastructure that combines sales and marketing. And so, as far as them attracting more clients, HubSpot not being a commercial for HubSpot, but I am a commercial for HubSpot. They've stayed on top of things, and the world is changing a lot right now with AI and even the answer AEO, which is answer engine optimization. But basically, with AI, the LLMs are pushing people information, and they're not necessarily pushing websites or products or clients. And HubSpot right now is pivoting to understand how, from a marketing perspective, we can deal with that. And they're getting information to their agencies and their partners, helping get current information out to customers so that they know exactly what to do as the world changes out from underneath them. So that's what we try to do. We try to bring current thinking and current techniques to all of our clients, new and old, and they can't keep track of a $2 billion piece of software like HubSpot. So we do it, and we let them know what they can use inside it, what works for them. So we try to be a conduit with some complex technology. Long answer.
So I've been a HubSpot user in and out of
Right.
different positions. And
Okay.
one of the things that I love about HubSpot is how robust it is. But I
Mhm.
also, one of the things that is hard to really, I think, make sure users understand is how important the initial setup is to the success of how well you can use it long term and the
Yeah.
adoption rate that you get with your staff. So like
Mhm.
that part, it's not as easy as it seems, but it's worth it.
It's not, um HubSpot has gone away from the simple, easy message that they used to always say. It was doing them a disservice because now they're the real deal. They're not just the CRM for the SMB. They're the real deal. And so, not to be a commercial for HubSpot partners, but honestly, we help people get started correctly. So the whole thing is implemented in a simple way that's easy for them to use, and so they don't get hung up in all of the minutia. Their job is not to be an expert at implementing HubSpot. That's our job.
And it's interesting because one of the things that you did bring up that I love is that you talked about how it does combine sales and marketing and, understanding, how the difference between MQLs and SQLs and how
Oh,
to
you know the language.
do and how people move through those stages, right?
I
Like it's such and lead scoring, my God, what a powerful tool. So, uh, I mean, like I said, that you have all 42 certifications still blows my mind. But so now we've been talking a little bit about how Orange marketing serves your clients and
Mhm.
how you kind of started to leverage that to distinguish yourself. But I do want to talk a little bit more about that. And specifically, the RFP grind when I owned my
Yes,
agency, one of our number one objectives was to never respond to another RFP. And we
yes.
never got to that point, right? Like we had to. But in your experience, what are the underlying issues that cause agencies to rely so heavily on RFPs? And what strategies do you think agencies can implement to shift towards a more proactive, value driven client
Okay,
acquisition model?
very good. Okay, so we have never responded to an RFP in 8 years, and, so we don't. And we don't because they're kind of a grind, and you already know perhaps that somebody else has been selected, so it's kind of a fake bureaucratic process. I've been in large corporate jobs, I know exactly what the RFP process is, so we actually don't respond to them. What we do to attract clients is a whole bunch of stuff. We have put an extreme emphasis on reviews and getting reviews published. So we have a lot of reviews out there. It helps a lot. An extreme emphasis on case studies with specific tech stacks, which helps a lot. And I can't emphasize this enough. We made a huge pivot, recommended by a gentleman named Marcus Sheridan, and I think he wrote the book "You Ask, They Ask, You Answer." Believe it or not, I think it's that guy, and he recommends transparent pricing. Agencies are famous for not having transparent pricing, so our pricing is out on our website. And it's bold, it's pricing, it's a lot of specifics, maybe too detailed. But the deal is, people can see the numbers, and if that is not a number for them, they can move on, and we can just avoid this little dance where we get on the phone and talk and I don't give them the number, but they have a number. We can just stop that right there. We can get right to it and just make sure we're a good fit for them. We're not the most expensive HubSpot partner you can get a hold of. We are not the cheapest, But we definitely want to talk to people who can invest in technology and invest in their next steps. So that's one way we've avoided the RFP grind. We also have another way is we have excellent relationships with technology partners who are close with fit with HubSpot. So we have people that we recommend, they recommend us. That's been key. And then we are also very close with HubSpot. So HubSpot has a great partner ecosystem. I would say we're a very high diamond. The next tier is elite. Those are the mega agencies. And we get good help from HubSpot and they help us. And so it's relationships. I spent last week at HubSpot's inbound conference. I went to a few presentations, but for the most part, we spent our time out on the trade show floor, meeting everybody, understand what they're selling and where it could fit, what we could bring back to our customers. So it's the partnerships and relationships that are so important for people to know us. You mentioned branding. It was the first time I've walked around that show in an orange marketing t-shirt. I don't know why I hadn't done it before, and that helped. I had people read the shirt and remember about us, even though they may not know my face, and stop me. And last thing I'll throw out to you is LinkedIn. I committed to it a couple years ago, and I was told it was a good idea, and I started working on it, started having more community out there, started supporting people. And this was I'd say in the last 3 months, I've been seeing some amazing payoff from that, including even at the conference where people would stop me and go, Rebecca, and they would talk about a post that I commented on. And I felt like they were a friend. And I'm like, this is a trip. Like, what is happening?
It's awesome. It's awesome when it actually works out, isn't it? I
It
love
does
that
work,
it
and it's an act. You spoke to me about branding a little bit. It is definitely brand. And so with AI, for years, we've been able to pay SEO agencies to get traffic to our sites. We've been able to buy Google pay per click. We've been able to buy traffic and buy contacts, but it's kind of fallen apart because AI, they're not going to the Google ads. They're not going to Google listings. They're getting answers out there without us. And we have to figure out how to get our clients and ourselves up in the answers. And so brand is really important. So what is old is new again. Trade shows are critical. PR is critical. Like traditional PR has a place in this world again. Not that it didn't before, but it really didn't in the SMB for B2B, but it really does now. So things you wouldn't think of, the ability to remember the words orange marketing matter now. And what we've done with reviews matters because AI is looking for credibility across channels, not just on your own website. So a lot of passion on this subject. It's evolving right now.
Yeah, it's nice to see the excitement from you coming back from a
Yes.
conference like that where there is so much intellectual property being shared and thought leaders really
In
talking
the
about it.
room.
It is interesting because we talked about this a little bit, and I do want to ask you about it because I recently had a client say, you know, we want to rank first in AEO. We want to be the first ones who show up. But
Oh
there's some
boy.
danger in that, isn't there?
I don't know if it's dangerous. I don't even know if it's doable. So, it's AEO is not ranking. I don't even know if they're thinking about it right. I guess they are. You can rank. See, I'm new to this too. You can rank first in AEO. But it's a whole different game. Like, understanding the questions your prospects are asking and having those questions and answers available to AI is critical. And so we're brainstorming that right now to make sure, are we answering in plain talk on our website the questions that people have in a way that the AI can read it? And so I don't think so.
Yeah, no, and that is another fascinating conversation that I have a lot. And talking about going from a big website to a small website, and people are talking about how do I improve traffic on my site. And you're right, like there's a couple things that come up because with LLMs and their ability to answer instead of people clicking through, there is no click. But
There's no point.
the other thing that's interesting is that a lot of times I'll work with a client and I'll go to their website and I'll read the website and I'll be like, I don't know what you do.
I
Right? Like,
don't know what you do. I don't.
who did you write this for? Because they clearly weren't thinking about their target audience. And so
Yeah,
again, right, like this is great information for how businesses can do better with their marketing. But from
yeah,
a marketing agency perspective, right, like one of the things that I found as an agency owner was that we were all trying to say that we were really good because of the talent that we had. And to
mhm,
some degree or another, I feel like that's still true. Like
sure,
you go to a restaurant because you wanna enjoy that chef's cooking. You
yeah,
choose a marketing agency because you like the work that they've done, it represents you, it feels like it could be comfortable for your
mhm,
brand. But,
mhm,
you know, because we're talking to other agency owners, what is your advice for people who really wanna stand out? Because in some ways AI could level the playing field, but I feel like there's other ways where AI could really help be a distinguishing characteristic to truly differentiate yourself. And so because you've done so much work with a platform, and focus so much of your energy there, what
mhm,
would be your advice to other agency owners about, okay, this is how you could stand out rather than
yeah.
just be the same.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we play in a space where I think if you use the HubSpot partner directory, I think there are 3 or 4,000 HubSpot partners. And for years, we've all been writing about the same thing. And we've always known that we're like fighting the government because HubSpot's a $2 billion company. They're advertising this stuff. Us ranking higher than HubSpot is insane. So we've always like had this problem, and I can only tell you how we've tackled it. And one of the ways has been with case studies and explaining how we've used the technology, how we've used the tech stack, what the tech stack was, like very specific case studies. And we found that people, and even the AI has found us this way. Oh, you need an Eloqua migration. We have a really good case study written about it. So stuff like that has helped. I know everyone's talking about AI to the point that it was exhausting last week at Inbound. But we're talking about it too, and we're trying to get down to facts, like what people can do. And I don't know that enough people are giving people recipes and explaining what they can do. And I think that'll help people stand out. If you're a HubSpot partner, you can easily help people navigate all of the tools available, all the things that you can do, such as create agents and chat agents, and help them with that. You can offer products around that right now. There are a lot of ways to stand out. Some of the successful customers that we have are very vertical. Like one gentleman that we talked to is only does M&A activities for small industrial companies. I mean, that's all he does, and he's made a very successful business of it. So I think that's how you stand out. You can't just be a digital agency. You have to have some kind of a specialty. Last thing I'll say is another way that we stand out and how we get referred so much is our reviews, and it is our demeanor. And I hate to say that, but I hate to say what I'm about to say. They'll refer to us as being nice and helpful, and that's such pansy words. But when you Google orange marketing reviews, stuff like that comes up, and so there's a certain factor in who we are, and we fit with certain types of companies. And so that becomes a personality that comes through in the reviews, then on the website. So there's that too. A lot of us are from Southern California. It does come through in the company style, and not meaning like we're cool or California. We're kind of laid back. And that's just, you've got to be okay with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because as I said, I owned an agency from 2001 to 2013.
Yeah.
And when I left, what I found, the more time I spent client side, the more I heard that marketing agencies actually have a bad reputation. Like, right? Like, so
100%.
I was shocked by that because integrity was such an important part of how I ran
100%.
my business. And it sounds like it's the same for you. So I'm also encouraged to hear that there are a lot of agencies out there who are working very hard to turn that around.
Yeah. And I was uncomfortable even admitting that we were an agency. And now, a lot of times I'll say we're a HubSpot partner, but we are an agency and we just do very specific types of work. The last thing I'll say on your subject was we cannot be everything to everybody. So if somebody comes to us and wants to build a new website or do branding work, we tell them immediately we're not your people. We're not good with pretty pictures. Although if you give us a branding guide, we're great. And building websites is hard work and we don't do it. So we're very specific about what we're good at and what we're not good at.
Yeah, and I think specialization is going to become a more and more interesting conversation.
Mm,
Um, but it's interesting. So for agencies that are looking, right, for other agencies that are looking to go from generic to magnetic, and like you, I I'm in awe that you haven't responded to an RFP in 8 years. But what's the one piece of
even fun.
actionable? Yeah, I mean that's amazing. But what's the one piece of actionable advice you'd give them regarding their own marketing strategy or client acquisition approach?
I would give them the same advice we give our clients that we're almost shocked at in so many cases. We don't see much testimonial sometimes or case studies. I think agencies are smarter and they'll have the case studies, but they don't necessarily have the reviews out in a third party, like maybe even Google reviews. We're so lucky because we have the HubSpot partner directory. Those factors, those reviews and case studies are really important for AI. And I'll leave that there. And so the first thing a business owner can do today is start working on their review program and their case study program. It's important for sales and it's really important for AI. And so that's one of the things I tell them to do right away if they don't have that.
Okay. So I have one more question for you. From my perspective, it seems like you, as the CEO and Orange Marketing in general, has been really very intentional about how you've gotten to where you are.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
what's the one thing that like keeps you up or is holding you back, or you feel like it's the thing that if you could, you'd change it?
The thing that bugs me the most right now is we've got our day jobs, but we need to learn the tools and need to understand how to help customers with customer agents, things on their websites to chat, different things. We need to understand it all better, which requires education and retrenching. And there's not enough time for it and enough people. And that kind of keeps me up at night, meaning how do we re-educate and reschool ourselves, while we're riding the bike. And so I'm lucky I get a chance to utilize technology. It's founder-led sales. I use AI to write proposals, to write quotes, to do all kinds of things. And it's enabled me to do so much more. But I feel like I need a month of intensive uh, schooling to understand all the possibilities we're not accessing. And that's what bugs me. And so we're trying to figure out how to get ahead of it. I don't know if we can. We're trying.
Yeah, so that is a topic of another podcast, and what we're talking about is how do you the best reason to have a good strategy, in my opinion, is it makes it easy to say no. And
Yes.
so as an agency owner, as a business owner, I think, it's really important to have an AI strategy. So it's easy to understand the things to say no to because, right, like this is what I do is AI deliverables, right?
Yeah.
And it still people will say, have you heard of XYZ AI or IO? And I'm like, crap.
No.
No, I haven't heard
No.
of that. And this is what I do. How is that possible? There are so many AI tools out there that it really is very difficult.
It'll shake out, but you know,
It'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how it does shake out.
yeah.
Well, so Rebecca, this has been a great conversation, and I really appreciate you participating with us so early on in Human at the Helms podcast.
I love the
So I
concept.
want it's a huge thank you. You've been an incredible guest. I again just cannot I don't even know of anybody else who has all 42 certifications. So that's so impressive. So the one thing that I would like to ask of you, this is my actual last question. That is,
Yes.
if our listeners want to connect with you and learn more about Orange Marketing and
Mhm.
the services that you provide to your customers, right? Because there will be some people who are not agency owners who will listen, I hope. But if other agency owners want to talk to you about, like, you've been very, very intentional. And I think, that's a lot of determination.
Mm.
So if people want to get in touch with you, how should they do that?
It's real easy. So there's always orangemarketing.com. There's a contact button. I all the forms head to me first because just that's the way I am. Like I said, founder-led sales. And the other very easy way is I was in LinkedIn early. So I own Rebecca Gonzalez out on LinkedIn. So you can find me no sweat out there. And I post, I wish I posted a lot more, but I'm at least out there once a week with perspectives. And a lot of our, our thoughts and strategy, I work out in LinkedIn. So it's kind of, I use that as sort of a place to work out thoughts and then we take it back into the company. It's
Awesome.
funny. Yeah.
So I'll make sure to post that in the notes so
Yeah.
anyone who wants to can go there to find more information about you. And again, thank you so much for participating. Thank you to our We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you.